So, Professor Fani, shall we start or we wait for?
Yes, sir. 2 minutes. Sir, students are joining. Okay.
Okay.
So 2 more minutes. So
Sure.
far, I could see 120 students joined.
Sure.
Sir, it is live also on YouTube channel, sir.
Yeah, that live is also now it is active.
Active. And I request all the people who are joining through YouTube, they can join through webinar link, Zoom link, Zoom meeting link. There are some 10 students are there. Yes, the students who are watching on the YouTube, they can join Zoom meeting.
Yes, sir. You can start, sir. So I could see 220 students joined.
Sure. Sure. We'll do.
224 students.
Okay. Good afternoon, students. So I would have loved this class in person, but because of the COVID protocol, we are still doing online. And I did not wish to take a risk that even after you join and 500 to 1,000 people sitting at a time may not be a good idea in the first week. So in online mode, the difficulty is that we can't see each other much, and but still let's share the thoughts. So I know that afternoon classes are boring normally. We have also gone through these phases. So I'll try to keep the topic and discussion today a bit interesting. And I'm sure all of you can gain, whether you have the professional electives as AI or professional electives as machine learning or soft computing, or even if some of you might be in fourth year or even in the PhD student or some faculty colleagues may find some of the perspective interesting. I'm just giving a different color to the whole discussion today, which is close to your heart. Before we get set, let us just say that I will be revisiting some basics, but we'll also will be discussing some advanced and futuristic topics, some tools, techniques, and some applications. So it's my policy that I don't share my slides. And that's the reason I'm also suggesting not to do any video recording. However, I will strongly recommend you to make notes. Please, I am sure you by now in third year, you have the habit of making notes, and you should. That's always healthy, because as we are discussing neural networks, so even from the neural networks point of view, when we write by hand, the neural networks are made in our own mind, and we remember the things better. It's just a simple point. You write some, if you are having any difficulty in remembering something, you write it 3 times or 5 times, you will remember it. That's a simple point. And feel free to ask questions or interact, or even in the end, you can shoot me email, have any doubts, please feel free, or let your faculty, respective faculty know, and accordingly, I can take further sessions to answer your questions or by email. So I'm sure each of you is familiar with this picture of Vyom Mitra. And although that's where I am having the limitation of interactive class, because I love to take the interactive sessions. So Vyom Mitra, as most of you will be knowing, is our lady robot, half humanoid, which will be sent by ISRO in Gaganyaan this year. And that is the preparation before sending the human astronaut. So decision has been made at top level in the country that we will send first the half humanoid as a lady robot, Vyom Mitra, which is our answer to Sophia. I think all of you know. So I'm sure most of you have seen this Rajnikant movie, Robot, or its sequel 2.0. So
Yes, sir. Robot 2.0. So nice, sir.
yes. So in this movie, if you see the characters, there is a character shown as Chitti, the main robot character. And then in the sequel, the 2.0.
Yes, sir. Machina is the villain, sir.
Yeah, if you have a specific question, then only unmute. Otherwise, please continue and enjoy the discussion. So Neela is the second character shown in the 2.0. Both are robot. Both are AI robot and advanced. We will come to that point further. So there was another movie made in English, iRobot. I'm sure many of you might have seen, and that's where in interactive class, possibly I would have loved to see the hands raised. But doesn't matter. Please, let's continue. In this movie, they have shown that there was a one particular robot which was made differently. And the name of that robot was Sunny. So they have shown some NS5 robot. And this Sunny robot was way different from the other robots. Whereas they also have shown the virtual interactive kinetic intelligence, Wiki. So this Wiki is AI. So some of you is raising hand perpetually. Can you please, yes, tell me, Shriram?
No, sir. I just rose hand previously and I forgot to look.
Sure, no problem. So another movie some of you might have seen, the Indian Bollywood flick Ra1. In this, they show a robot named as G1, played by Shah Rukh Khan, but more of as a robot. And so what is the commonality in these Vyom Mitra, Chitti, Neela, Sunny, Wiki, or G1? There is some point I'm trying to make here. And the common factor is that all these they show as AI intelligent robots, humanoids. And what is the common? What is the difference between intelligent robots or humanoids versus human beings? So if you think deeply, the difference still is emotions. So in this movie, the robot played by Rajnikant, the Chitti, they show one of the very interesting point that there was a robot which went rogue because of some wrong programming and could not discriminate between the human beings and others. Similar thing is shown in this movie called iRobot, where the character Sunny is different, whereas other robots are normal robots which can do the house jobs kind of thing. Or even in this movie G1 and the Ra1, the robot G1 is different from the other adversary played by the other character as a negative one. So the difference is emotions. We believe that robots are not having emotions, whereas human beings are having emotions. Also, there is a difference of intelligence. So is the intelligence only the computing power? Like something we talk about Shakuntala Devi and we say one can compute fast, is it intelligent? Is it really the intelligence? If that is the case, then why these robots were termed at one point of time as idiots in the same movie itself? The Chitti was, all of you know the end of the story, that there was decommissioned. Or even in this movie, iRobot, the Sunny as a robot, even intelligent one, was decommissioned in the end. Or the same goes in the G1. Why? Because they lacked social intelligence, the practical intelligence. So intelligence itself can have multiple layers. It is not just computing power, or in our day-to-day, we say as a student, we all have been, and you all, I will call myself also a student even now, in some sense, that somebody who can recall the thing faster. So it is like putting the memory in mind and vomiting it out in the exam. Is that intelligence? Or thinking out of the box, the new solutions, is that intelligence? So intelligence can have hundreds of meanings, little bit depending on the context, but it's not plain and simple computing power or recollecting power. No, you need to think beyond. And difference mostly cited between the robots and human beings is related to emotions and some more things we will discuss. So in today's discussion, I want to touch upon artificial intelligence, then little bit on the artificial neural networks, machine learning, because I know some of you are focusing more onto the AI, some of you are focusing more onto machine learning, depending on the professional elective you have chosen. But all these have kind of brothers, sisters, they are siblings and closely related. Even in machine learning, 50% syllabus will be covered of artificial intelligence, or in AI, little advanced side you go, you will be talking about the machine learning. And implementation wise in both, whether it is AI or machine learning, you heavily use ANN, artificial neural networks. So some of these things we will touch upon. Being it as a first level lecture of this series, I'll call it module 0. I do intend to take more lectures during this semester for you. Let's see how the things go. And applications we'll see at end towards the practical examples. So how the evolution of intelligent machines started, I'm sure in first semester when you read about the computer organization and computer architecture, you all talked about the Moore machine and the Mealy machine. And that was the start of the computing machines. Then expert systems made the road somewhere about, you can say 1960s or early 70s, people talked about the expert systems. Followed by knowledge-based systems. So somewhere about in 70s and 80s, people were more focusing on the knowledge-based systems. Almost in 80 and 90, the focus started much more on the ANN, and we'll go to the historical perspective also of the AI, but around 80, 90, it was getting a peak. Followed by people thought that ANN, fuzzy logic or genetic algorithms can solve a lot of problems, and during the late 90s and early of this millennium, there was a big focus on the ANN and several techniques. Last about 10, 12 years, you have been hearing more about the machine learning. This whole topic more came around 2005, 6 onwards, and around early 2010s, machine learning has been the focus. And as you can see the bracket that AI, ANN, machine learning, fuzzy logic, and genetic algorithm, the field is called combinedly as soft computing. So many universities or institutes offer a course in soft computing, basics or advanced, basically covering these aspects. Last 5-6 years, there is a more advanced topic as recurrent neural networks, convolution neural networks, or the deep neural networks. So this has been more focused in last 4-5 years, and people claim that deep neural network can solve a lot of problems. But to me, or the people who know, this is nothing but the old wine in new bottle. It's the same thing which we talked in the neural networks about 20-25 years back. However, yes, this is the flavor. So this is the evolution of intelligent machine in last almost 40-50 years primarily. So let us see the first point, that the AI. We will see the both advanced and futuristic views. So in AI, we will discuss about the what and why. Think of why it is called artificial. We call it AI, artificial intelligence. So focus on both the words. We need to clearly understand why it is called artificial. What is artificial here? What is intelligence? We'll come to that later. So it is not natural. It is artificial, means it is created in laboratory. That's why the word artificial. It is not artificial in the sense of pseudo. We say, okay, you smile and somebody is not smiling or laughing naturally, you say it's artificial. In that sense, it means indirectly we are trying to say it is pseudo. So is artificial intelligence meaning here pseudo intelligence? No. it means here that it is created in the lab. It is basically silicon based, all the silicon chips, you know. So it is or programming based. So it's created in lab by the human beings. That's what the word called artificial. And it is just to differentiate from the term, either you can call it natural or biological. So biological intelligence or the natural intelligence is what human beings possess. That is where, and not only human beings, all living beings have the intelligence, but the degree may differ and the capabilities or what one can do is differ. For that matter, even it is proven that even all animals, birds, insects, everybody has intelligence. To that matter, even plants have intelligence. So that is what we will call the living being intelligence or the biological intelligence or the natural what is the nature has provided. To differentiate from this, what nature has provided to what is created in the lab, the word came artificial. Now, second point, intelligence. What is intelligence? We just now talked whether it is computing power, number crunching, or whether it is that large data recall in an instant. That's what people believe. Like, I mean, in society, most of the people say so-and-so is very intelligent because one can do the computation of 5 digit by 5 digit in a fraction of a second. Is that really the number crunching as intelligence? So there could be multiple definitions, but here the intelligence would also mean thinking out of box, thinking something which is not pre-programmed or pre-trained, going beyond that. So to prove that point, I'll give you the perspective from the science fiction Deep Blue. I'm sure many of you heard this term. What is Deep Blue? Deep Blue was the first supercomputer in the world which defeated that time chess champion Garry Kasparov. It was in early 1990s. So Deep Blue as the first supercomputer proven to the world that it is the machine can be more intelligent than the human being. That is what was the claim, although we will disagree. So let us see some of the futuristic points here and try to see. There was a movie a few years back, an English movie called Her. Some of this movie, if you have seen, very good. If you have not seen, I will strongly recommend you to see in your free time, not in the academic time. I can't say that as a director even. So Her movie, in this movie, they show one program which is downloadable to most of the computers. And so much so that this character played by this actor falls in love with that program as a lady. It was a lady voice. And then they even try to think of marriage and all and entering into some body and all that. So Samantha is the name given to that program, which is actually just an AI program, nothing else. So that's the difference in this movie. Many of you in the childhood, most of the children are fans, and even in the teenagers, you have this Robocop. In this, Alex Murphy is a police cop who lost his lower part of the body in some accident, and he was given the cover of like the exaltant, like robotic limbs, and his brain is normal, but he has also been given the capabilities of the AI in terms of the data processing and all other functions. So it's like a half human and half robot. That's the concept given in this movie. And this Robocop is shown to be much more capable than a normal police cop, kind of super cop. Another movie came very interesting recently was Chappie. So in this Chappie, they show one teenager robot which goes in the wrong direction by a wrong program and goes against its own creator or goes into the bank robbery and other things. It is shown that how the robot also needs right company and right mentoring. Just like, most of the teenagers and you student, or if it could happen to even grown-ups also, that the wrong company can lead to the bad habits and the bad outcome, whereas the right company can lead to the good outcome and the positive outcome. So that is what is the theme in this movie, where that company is shown for this teenage kind of robot named Chappie. Very interesting, this movie, Real Steel, many of you might have seen. And in this, the first time they also displayed heavily the technology kind of invented by Microsoft. I was there for about 5 years plus. The 2010, this was the first technology which Microsoft unveiled with their own research. Otherwise, Microsoft used to be claimed that they just borrow or buy the technology. But Kinect was like a motion sensing kind of thing, so it can mimic the human motions. And based on that, this robot created in this movie named as Atom, and they have shown all the robotic fights and all. So in this movie, again, what they try to show that this robot Atom was not the latest generation robot, it's 3-4 generation back. But with the intelligent combination, whether it's mentor boy or played by this Hugh Jackman, the boy's father, they win the entire competition of the robots, the big fights. So these robots, and when are they trying to say, and this all, and the latest in the trend was this movie called Ex Machina. So in this Ex Machina, what they show, the two characters played by two different ladies, the character names are Awa and Kayoko. So these two female robots are shown, and they can manipulate even the minds of the creator. Think of that. They finally succeed in manipulating the minds and go out of the lab and in the world. Otherwise, as some of the pictures you can see, this robot can dance like a normal girl or other behaviors. So this is the kind of intelligence being shown successively. I have picked up these movies not randomly, with a purpose and with a theme. So next in this series, I will show you this some content from the movie called Bicentennial Man. And the name goes, the Bicentennial Man, a man which lived 200 years, 200 years. And this robot is played by a fantastic actor, Robin Williams. And the robot name is Andrew. And his female counterpart, female robot, also is named as Galatia. So what they show in this movie is something very unique and very interesting. This robot is an intelligent robot, like a humanoid. But they say that what is the difference from human beings? So they say emotions. So then this robot has got emotions also. Okay. Now the emotions, to the extent they say that, okay, I want to marry. So then they create a female robot, find it, and they marry also. Like Sophia, this robot is also given the citizenship and all. So much so further they show what is the difference from the human being. They say we don't have the digestion system. So very interestingly, in this movie, they show the digestion system. That okay, robot can eat, and the mobile oil and other things, the excreta can be generated. Some of that concept. And finally, it lead to the meta question that can there be the reproductive units in the robot. So very interesting. And since it's a robot, it is battery operated. There is no natural decay and no growing old kind of thing. And that's why this robot lives for 200 years. And after seeing the technology changes and the world changes in 200 years, and even the human beings, third generation, it sees own creators, third generation whom he marries. So girl in this, the left side you see, is the third generation girl, you can say granddaughter of his robot's creator, whom he marries, so it's a marriage between a human being and a robot. As a concept, this movie is very thought-provoking. And finally, this robot takes a retirement, voluntary retirement. Call it death. He says, now I am choosing to die. So another next movie in this series, this is the last I'm going to discuss in this series discussion today. The movie named itself is AI, Artificial Intelligence. In this movie, AI, Artificial Intelligence, they show one boy as robot. So this boy is named David, which is so natural and so beautifully made that this boy goes to school, has got the other school children as his friends. Nobody can differentiate whether it's a real boy or it's a robot. And to the parents also, to both the scientists who create this, he considered them and the mother and father only. That is the beauty in this one kind of, they say, ultimate humanoid. So what is the purpose? When I said that I have picked up this theme and what I have shown, if you carefully see from the movie, can you please put mute? Somebody is disturbing. So from the movie, can you please mute yourself? Somebody's vehicle noise is disturbing. From the movie called Her, which was only a program, to robot, which is half human, half robot, then Chappie, which is like a teenager robot, Real Steel, which can mimic the robotic, the human actions, Ex Machina, where they show the intelligent female robots, Bicentennial Man, where they show the robot which has seen the evolution as the robot revolution for 200 years, and the AI in which they show the boy as the ultimate robot. In each movie, successively, if you see, the closeness to humans is increasing. From the first movie to seventh movie, which I picked up, it is more close to human. But when we say more close to human, the complexity level, the technology advancements, and the AI content is gradually increasing in each of this movie. And that is what we need to think about, that how far it is from the reality. And by the end of this discussion today, you will see that we are not very far. Possibly in many of our lifetime, we will see all these changes happening in real life. And I will show you some of the demos as well. And maybe I will be more happy to see if some of you can make it happen. That's the goal. So how the AI evolved, that's also a very interesting thing, which I will just pick up the 4 landmarks here. The first landmark was Alan Turing. Recently there has been a movie called Imitation Game, played by the Benedict. This character played beautifully in this movie, Imitation Game. If you have not seen, all of you must see, for 2 different reasons. One, I think all of you must know that engineers are not given the Nobel Prize. So for engineers, the best prize is Turing Award, or we call it Field Medal. So Field Medal, and then after Alan Turing, they also made the Turing Award. So Alan Turing, in a way, can be considered as father of AI, which this movie I will encourage you to see. What they show, the first AI machine Alan Turing made around Second World War. So he was a mathematics, or you can say mathematician plus engineer, who was employed by the British Secret Service. And the role was to break the codes, the cipher codes of the Nazis, the Germans. And Germans were being very powerful, and they were changing the cipher codes on daily basis, and Allied forces and Britishers were not able to do much. Because the code breaking, it was taking a lot of time. So Alan Turing finally decided to make one machine, and the machine was a big, huge room size. You can think of maybe visualize about 20 feet by 20 feet cubicle room, and the full of machines. And those machines are beautifully shown in this movie. And that was the kind of first AI machine Alan Turing made. With the help of that, he could crack the code in few hours. So he used this machine to crack the German codes. And the beauty of that is, in a way, Alan Turing should be given the credit to save London. Another movie some of you might have seen, 10,000 plane raid. So not exactly 10,000, but several thousand planes Germans lost to destroy London. But what with this machine and Alan Turing, courtesy of them, they could crack the code. So Britishers already knew that Germans are going to attack and so date and time. What they did it near to London, in a sea, in the barren area, in the field, in the forest area, and they created a pseudo city. So in a way, Germans were fooled to drop their bomb in the water and along the coast, and that saved London, courtesy Turing. Unfortunately, Turing was gay, proven at that time, which was a huge crime, and he was not given the credit till 2010, till this movie around that time. And then he was given all his credit and due. So in a way, Alan Turing is the founding father of AI. All of you should know. Next major milestone in the AI, I will call Deep Blue computer, which I just mentioned, that around early 1993. So Deep Blue computer was a kind of supercomputer created and programmed with the AI logics. It could play chess, and that computer defeated Garry Kasparov in the chess game. To think of the match between a human being and a machine, and no ordinary human being, the reigning chess champion at that time, Garry Kasparov, was defeated by this machine Deep Blue. So that was to prove the point in the world that machine can be intelligent, enough intelligent. That led to the next third major milestone, Sophia. All of you know, Sophia was given the citizenship by Saudi Arabia, and Sophia visited India also in IIT Madras, IIT Bombay. It interacted with the students and all. So Sophia is a kind of intelligent robot, can answer many of the questions and all, although it's not a humanoid to the extent which we have seen in some of the movies we talked recently. And next milestone I will call for our country, India, Vyom Mitra. Vyom Mitra will be the country's first humanoid being sent to space, which will do a lot of experimental work as well, and a lot of things to prove, and will pave the way for sending human beings to the space by our own spacecrafts. So what is the focus going on in the artificial intelligence? The focus here is some of the AI examples you will be seeing that as the customized advertisements. So suppose you do the Google search, and next time it practically happens that suppose I've been seeing a flight from here to Vizag, and next time it will be assumption made that I'm looking for the same flight, and they show me the targeted advertisements. I am sure each of you have experienced that. Or the chatbots. So these are the AI example chatbots. I think all of you experimented with in the first year, second year kind of thing. But what are the tasks they can perform? The hill climbing, this spider kind of robot, which can do even the climbing on the vertical wall. That's the capability, which needs very high precision. And the ultimate precision of this was like this lander on the Mars lander shown to the world few years back, that in this lander, there is a unique thing which all of you should know, that the thrusters are used in a decelerating fashion to avoid the impact. For example, this spacecraft is to land on the Mars surface. So of course, it has got a very high order of acceleration, which needs to be reduced. To reduce that, they put the thruster, and you know that with the thruster, it goes to the upward direction. So thrusters speed, or you can say the thruster's thrust, is gradually reducing so that it comes down. And that reduction has to be controlled. There are 4 thrusters. It has to be beautifully controlled using the lot of algorithm, AI algorithms and supercomputers. And it landed almost without any impact. India also tried the same thing. We should proudly say we nearly succeeded, but at the last moment, all of you know that when we were landing the Vikram lander about a year back, it crashed. There was some flaw, but as far as these thrusters are there, this thruster control was working very nicely. Hopefully, in the next attempt, we should be successful. So this is another kind of example what AI can do. The controlling these thrusters humanly was simply impossible. So what we study in AI some terminologies. Some of you are familiar with the terms like search technique or some gradient descent, where you find the minima. All these are algorithms, or we talk the heuristic search. So what is the heuristics? What is gradient descent, BFS or DFS, or the different search techniques, or the other techniques of the AI or the regression, CART, and other things we will discuss in maybe the further topic. So I just want to show you here one video as an example, and we will discuss onto that.
Starting this year, Toyota and
I
Lexus
hope the
luxury
video is
models
visible
will
to all
come
of
with
you.
Amazon Alexa.
Alexa, turn on the AC.
Sir, no, sir.
Sir, the video isn't
Be a
visible.
virtual assistant to help you navigate.
Video is not visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, video is not visible.
Video
Only the sound is visible, sir. Only the sound is audible.
Okay, just let me see once again. I'm just stopping sharing and then we'll try to share again. Let us see why it is not coming.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the slide in video now? Hello?
No, sir.
Sir, we can only see the slide, sir.
Okay, then I will play live of it. Just a second. Can you see it now?
No, sir, it's not shared.
Okay, what is wrong? Just a second, let me try once again. Can you see this video now?
Yeah.
Starting this year, Toyota and Lexus luxury models will come with Amazon Alexa.
Alexa, turn on the AC.
Turning on AC.
Finally, a virtual assistant to help you navigate.
Alexa, where's the nearest gas station?
Nearest gas station in 1.5 miles.
And to help maintain your vehicle.
Alexa, order more brake pads.
Ordering new brake pads. Although maybe if you didn't stop so close to the car in front of
I left plenty of room.
you, drive too aggressively.
If you were just quiet for 2 seconds, 2
She'll
seconds.
talk to you literally the entire time you're driving.
I think you should have turned back there.
I know where I'm going. Hi, you know why I pulled you over? No, officer, I have.
Because we were driving 72 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone.
Anything else I should know?
2 miles back, we rolled through a stop sign without coming to a complete stop. Also, there are illegal fireworks in the trunk.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to step out of the car, please.
Amazon Alexa. You'll never get away from it.
So this is a bit light, funny, tingling video, but a lot of AI thing. And for some of you, if you have not focused, I'm playing it again.
Starting this year, Toyota and Lexus luxury models will come with Amazon Alexa.
Alexa, turn on the AC.
Turning on AC.
Finally, a virtual assistant to help you navigate.
Alexa, where's the nearest gas station?
Nearest gas station in 1.5 miles.
And to help maintain your vehicle.
Alexa, order more brake pads.
Ordering new brake pads. Although maybe if you didn't stop so close to the car in front of
I left plenty of room.
you, drive too aggressively.
If you were just quiet for 2 seconds, 2
She'll
seconds.
talk to you literally the entire time you're driving.
I think you should have turned back there.
I know where I'm going. Hi, you know why I pulled you over? No, officer, I have.
Because we were driving 72 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone.
Anything else I should know?
2 miles back, we rolled through a stop sign without coming to a complete stop. Also, there are illegal fireworks in the trunk.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to step out of the car, please.
Amazon Alexa. You'll never get away from it.
So this movie is, as I said, is showing some perspective. And let's get back to our slide. I hope you can see the slide.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's switch our discussion to a little bit on the artificial neural networks. So artificial neural network, as the name goes, is inspired from biological neural networks. So what are the biological neural networks? Is each of us is having in our upper compartment in the body, brain. And the brain is having neurons and synaptic joints. So what neurons are? Neurons are basically, think of each of them as a microprocessor, a computing power. It's very tiny, as you can see in this, like a small, very tiny dot, which may be of the size of micrometer. And synaptic joints are that these neurons are connected to each other through a very tiny, thin vein kind of thing. And those veins are called dendrites. And when one vein is merging or meeting another, that place is called synaptic joints. So from the synaptic joints and all these veins, there is a potential, the electric potential of the order of the microvolts to nanovolts traveling in those. Think of thousands of these neurons are connected to other tens of thousands of neurons. Now I'll just give you some numbers and it will be mind-boggling to you. In a human brain, there are roughly around 10 to the power 11 to 10 to the power 12 neurons. And each neuron is connected to another 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 5 other neurons. So think of the kind of web. If you think of connecting it to wires, microprocessors, what web of neurons it will be. Please mute yourself. You can discuss later. So this web of neuron, to give you the right analogy, in the entire world around Earth, think of Earth as the world we are referring. If entire globe, each dust particle is equal to one microprocessor, each dust particle. And if that dust particle is connected to another 10,000 to 1 lakh other microprocessors, think of the wiring it will involve and what that web will be around the world, the web of wires. That kind of network, neural network, is already there in human brain. Each of us, each of you. That is the power of this biological neural network. So this artificial neural networks is inspired as a model from that. And that's why in artificial neural network, we talk of the neurons as a computing power. And the main power is not only neurons, it is hidden in the network, how those connections are made. And that is where ANN primarily deals with PDP. It is not parallel computing. It is not distributed computing. It is parallel and distributed computing. Or you can call it massively parallel and massively distributed computing, because you can divide the task. Distributed computing means you divide the task but parallelly and do it. So what is parallel computing? Just to give you the analogy here. Suppose you have to add 100 numbers, different, let us say 10 digit or 12 digit, give you 100 numbers to add up. So you can add one by one, or you can put some algorithms and different, or you can do it that 25 numbers you put to one computer, another 25 to another, 25 to another. So I divide the task on the 4 people and I say, okay, you add up, and then finally each 25 sum I take it and add up. That could be one way. Maybe I take this logic further. I distribute among the 10 people and give them the task to add up 10 numbers each. And then finally that 10 sums, I add it up and get the answer. So that is distributed computing. That is what happens actually in the distributed computing, that you distribute the task in the multiple threads and multiple processes to compute the task. Now, parallel processing is, now each of these 10 computers or each of these 25, if I am giving the 4 computers, each of them is doing the parallel computing. That is parallel processing. And if both occur simultaneously, we call that as parallel and distributed computing. That is what is the essence in artificial neural networks. So what we talk in ANN is, we talk of neurons, that is a simulation of biological neuron. And as a computing neuron, you give that, assume that it has a power. So at present, we talk of only as a model, not even we are not even creating the neuron. The actual neuron which was attempted was called as perceptron. So perceptron is still in real life, is yet to be made. Still the research is on. And the day it is made, you can think that we can create a artificial human brain. At present, it is not exactly the brain. Some of its functions we are borrowing, some of its powers we are borrowing and try to mimic and try to create. And that itself is helping us as humans greatly. So synaptic joints and dendrites are neurons. So these three things are the existing in the biological neural networks, but we are creating the behavior of these in the simulation, whether in some program or in some tools. That is why we talk of the neurons or the joints. So web of neurons, and as I said, each of the neuron is connected to 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 5 other neurons. And that kind of massive network, we call it as a neural network, because it is having the neurons and you can say interconnected to each other. That's why neural network. So the term here is ANN and BNN. ANN is artificial neural network, which is inspired by biological neural network, or biological neural network you can understand as human brain. So inspired from that, artificial neural network is created. And what in ANN is, ANN deals about is the different models. In what or in how many different ways you can connect some of the neurons. You take a size, let us say you talk of the input layer, output layer, hidden layers, or the multiple hidden layers. So in each layer, how many neurons you are talking, you can take maybe 3 by 3 or 5 by 5 or even 100 by 100 or 256 by 256, any number. And how many neurons, other neurons it is connected to, in what all fashions, that makes the difference in different models in the ANN, whether it is feed forward, feedback or other. And some of these topics in detail we will discuss maybe in subsequent lecture. I am just giving you the touch upon some points that we talk of the activation function, we talk of updating the weights, then there are different criterion. We talk of the perceptron, we talk of feed forward, feedback neural networks, or the neural network models like I said, a Hinton model, Hopfield model, or the multi-layer perceptron, or the multi-layer feed forward neural network, or the multi-layer back propagation neural network, or auto association neural networks. And in all of these, the two important criteria are learning rate parameter and stopping criteria. So these all the things differentiate the different type of neural networks. And artificial neural network itself is a full-fledged course for BTech advanced year or the MTech. May not be in the Geetam right now, but in future we will try to have. So it's a 6 months worth of course as an artificial neural network itself. Some of you might have gone through the book by the Simon Hakin, a beautiful book. And the other book, easy to understand, is written by Professor Yagdanarayana, who was my thesis advisor, whom I can say I'm blessed to be associated for about 25, 30 years, since 96, so precisely 26 years. And when I was in IIT Madras, he was writing this book, and I, as his student of MTech, I helped him finalizing this book. So it's a beautiful book, Artificial Neural Networks by Professor Yagdanarayana. I will encourage you to read. And ultimate book, if you want to go through the depth of it, go through the Simon Hakins. So we'll talk the third topic of the day today, that machine learning. What is machine learning? Let us understand. Everybody, if you heard that last 5 years or of late more, last 2-3 years, everybody talking AI, ML are the buzzwords. Everywhere people talk of AI, ML. Unfortunately, even when I take the faculty selection interviews, I come across everybody claims to be an expert or the AI, ML, but how much they are expert sometime, or even in the job, many of you going for another 1 year or so, going for job or higher studies. So there is a hell lot of pseudoness also here. People just scratch the surface and claim to be the experts, but not really. Ask them the little intense questions and they are confused. So at least some of the basics should be clear. That's where I thought to touch upon some of the things. That there are three words here I'm focusing. The first, machine itself. What do we mean by machine? We all know that mechanical machines, when we say machine, we all think of mechanical engineers or heavy machines or the, in factories, the production machines or so. But for computer scientists, even the computer is a machine. A robot is a machine. So that is the perspective here. Learning. What do we mean by learning, or what do we mean by cramming by heart? Did you learn the mathematics tables or did you remember them? Did you learn to write how to write the essay or did you remember the essay? That's the difference. So from these two things, then the next word is machine learning. What exactly is machine learning? So some thoughts here. We need to first define what a machine is, whether it's a robot or whether it is an AI-driven robot or it is just the AI. So machine, how it is different from the human being. So I would encourage you to think of some task, what a machine can do, but is difficult for human being. Some task. Now, maybe any one of you can answer. Some task which a machine can do, but is very difficult for human being. Anyone want to attempt? Or we can say very simple. For example, lifting maybe 200 kg or 300 kg of weight, where we use the heavy crane. So using a crane, machine can do, crane is a machine, can lift it, but human being, it's very difficult. Or you can say the number crunching, computation, which we use with the calculator or the scientific calculator. You can do very fast computation. Let us say you want to find the square root or cube root of the 10-digit number or so, or multiply, or even you want to do the differentiator or integral or some things. A machine can do much faster as compared to human being. But now the next question is more interesting. Think of what human being can do, but is very difficult for machines. Very simple. Can machine recognize your voice? Can machine recognize your voice commands? When I'm saying recognize, I can give you this scenario. Suppose you are in a shopping mall or in a theater or maybe in any crowded place. Think of 1,000 people or think of 10,000 people. In that crowd, you hear one voice, maybe of your mother, maybe of your father, or maybe of your fiancé, your friend. That voice, your ear can easily recognize. Machine, sorry, even with this advancement, it cannot. Especially in the noisy scenario, it cannot. As a speech scientist, I can claim today, even in the real life scenario, it cannot. In the lab scenario, it may be able to differentiate and able to recognize some of the voice. But it needs pin drop silence. In the backdrop as a noise or in the real life scenario, which I am talking in the say movie theater or the say in orbit mall kind of thing, you cannot. So that easily the human being can do. Or another example I say, suppose I give each of you 100 photographs and I say, categorize them as per the similarity. And I'm sure if you want to put in those 100 photographs in 4 or 5 buckets, you can easily do. This can be done possibly, maybe the kind of sceneries you can put in one bucket, maybe the sports related you can put in one bucket, some natural human beings or the animals you can put another bucket, or some buildings you can put another bucket. So based on that similarity, as human being, you can do it very fast. Machine, I can cite my own personal experience. in 1996-97, when I was doing my MTech in in IIT Madras, I wrote a program, AI program. That time I wrote this entire program in C using the self-organizing maps of the neural networks. The program was 10,000 lines or more than 10,000 lines. And you would be shocked. The compilation time of that program was 56 hours. In the speech vision laboratory of IIT Madras, the most advanced machine available at that time was SV Indy machine, on which I would give the compilation work and leave the board, don't disturb it. And next 56 hours, it keeps doing the number crunching and give me the final result. That is the machine safe thing. Human being, few minutes, at most, few seconds. So it is still a long way where human being can do better than machines. Machine can do in some of the sense better, like all of you, I remember you might have seen this movie called Avatar. So in Avatar, they show that a person is sitting inside the robot and can lift the big rocks and weights, or can do much just by using the Kinect technology, copying, mimicking the action, and the whole machine does that action. It can lift weights and other things. So that is the machine. So machine here, we are talking little bit more mechanical thing, or you can say man-made, but also having some intelligence. We have seen in the different movies. So how this machine can be trained to do some task. So when we say learning, so learning could also be, is it really the rote learning, or is it how to do it kind of thing? I'm sure each of us learned the tables, mathematical tables from 2 to 20, we learned in the childhood. But did any of us remember how to have, what is the answer of 837 multiplied by 546? Did we remember that? No. We rather learned how to multiply. We know the mathematics, or we know the multiplication as algorithm. Give you the pen and paper, and I am sure each of you can get me the answer. It may be that you may take a little time, but you will get that. Why? You learned how to multiply. You learned the process of multiplication. You know the algorithmic steps in multiplication, and not only 3 digit, you can multiply even 5 digit by 5 digit or 10 digit by 15 digit, any number, because the process is same. That learning, think of today, how do you teach to other human being? Think of teaching that algorithm to 2-year-old or 3-year-old child. How do you teach that advanced multiplication to 3-year-old? Now you may be saying, am I joking? No, I am not joking. That's the real question I am asking. That, can you teach solving the differential equation to 3-year-old or 5-year-old? Because your new robot, your newborn robot will be like that. Can you really teach it? That is what is learning. It is not just mugging up or number crunching. It is not that all the answers of 37 by 54 kind of are fed in and you just pick up that answer, recall. That's a brute force learning. That's not exactly the learning. That is not procedural learning. So learning, we categorize in the machine learning paradigm in the 3 ways: supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised. Often when I ask the question, people are stuck, even just supervised or supervised also, but there is some semi-supervised. What is the difference? Very often I don't get the right answers. Supervised learning is the learning where there is a teacher. There is a teacher to correct you. That is the supervised learning. Suppose, think of learning swimming. All of us learn swimming, right? Most of us. So you may learn swimming without teacher also. That is also possible. And that is what will be called as unsupervised learning. Where there is no teacher, you learn it by self. But Suppose you want to be the swimmer who want to compete at the world level. You want to play in Olympics and want the medal. So now can you learn on your own and aspire to be the Olympic champion? Maybe in an extreme shot, some supernatural talent might be doing that, but a vast majority, or the probability wise, if you go, most of the people need an expert trainer or the world-class trainer who takes you to the first state level, then next is national level, and then international level. You need a mentor, a trainer, a supervisor, a teacher for that. And under that person, you learn proper techniques. That will be the meaning of supervised learning. Unsupervised learning is also possible, which is without any teacher. So when we say teacher in the context of machine, we say reference. If there is a reference to fall back to and we correct it often, then we are talking of supervised learning. Unsupervised learning, if we don't have a reference to, or if we are going in a singular direction, whatever I do is correct kind of thing, there is nobody to correct your course, that is unsupervised learning. There is another third way, semi-supervised learning. What is semi-supervised learning? I got just now an example. Just now while talking to you, I got the right example. Semi-supervised learning is what happens when somebody does PhD. If PhD somebody in some as an advisor, if you are doing supervised learning at that time, you are wrong. And if you leave the student unsupervised, that is also wrong. What is there in semi-supervised is that there is a teacher only to guide you whether you are doing right or wrong. That's all. Nothing beyond it. Or maybe at the most give you pointer. So, okay, I want to go this way or I want to get that. Okay, go left or go right. Go this pointing only. That is semi-supervised. Teacher is there, but not to do you the spoon feeding, not to hold you all the time. You learn on your own, but teacher is to just correct you. And my friends, that is another good discussion point here for each of you. Please think for a minute, what do you learn or what do you do or how do you learn in the undergraduate level? I'll say all up to your schooling up to 12th is one level you do in the schooling. But in college life also, you learn something as an undergrad course, like in the BTech. Then what do you learn or how do you learn in master's level? And finally, how or what do you learn in PhD level? Or even after that, you continue your research or so as a professor, how do you go about? So you are gradually moving from supervised learning to semi-supervised learning to unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is actually what you did in school, where somebody was there to handhold you all the time, whether it was your teacher or whether it was parent. In college life, in BTech, most of you are self-dependent, learn on your own, make notes and do on your own, but there is a degree which is taught by the professors or so. Whereas when you go to the PhD level, it is more often you are more and more you are self-dependent on your own. And finally, as a research scholar, even after graduating your PhD, you are more and more on your own. So these are the perspectives in the learning, and that how we train the machine accordingly in these different fashions, create different algorithms. So in machine learning, we talk of the principal component analysis or the linear discriminant analysis or PCA, LDA. These are some statistical methods. Or we talked about the Vector quantization or K nearest neighborhood method or support vector machine or the GMM, that is Gaussian mixture model, or finally some of the kernel methods. So all these, whether you want to have the classification or segmentation from the linear way or non-linear way or spiral way, or even the kernel, you can have the projections or the RBF, like the radius basis functions or others, more advanced topics. So some of these we will discuss separately in some other class. Advanced topics here could be the like learning for then linear regression, gradient descent, or dimensionality reduction techniques, or the base classification, or even some long-term, short-term memory, or the Boltzmann machine, or the convolution neural network, or the deep neural networks. We will discuss some other time. So just let us see some examples of this AI, and ML. So all of you have seen this example of the video of Amazon Alexa. So maybe I can skip it over. Whereas what we saw around us, what are the examples in the world around us? So chatbots, I am sure most of you are familiar with. Let us say GitHub itself has a chatbot, or anybody else you want to go to some website and you address, or even the Amazon, let us say you want to do some customer complaint, you talk to the chatbot first. That is fine. We are familiar with. But targeted advertisements we see in most of the websites, they are using the AI. AI is also used in the word prediction. So when you are typing something on your mobile phone, or even in laptops, in some of the word processors, the word prediction is there. But can this word prediction be based upon the semantics, based on the meaning you want to write? That will be the next level of word prediction. People are attempting it, but you can think of. Then I'm sure most of us have the experience with the Uber. The Uber whole business model came using AI. Without AI, would not have been possible. Or using the Google Maps, particularly when you have the source address to destination address, and you want to know what is the most efficient route or different routes. So that time it is using the AI techniques, all AI algorithms. And all this is a beautiful example using the GIS or the GPS. Many of you can experiment with in this year or next year. Then consumer behavior or the pattern or consumer pattern analytics and related applications are aplenty in the society, or many companies are doing it. If, for example, even in Zomato or Swiggy or even the Uber Eats, if you are doing something, it shows that, okay, last time you ate that, and last time you ate that, and how about you order the same? It is not only data, it is also prediction is being made to your behavior. And unfortunately, some of this data is being captured by the adversaries. Like yesterday itself, our government banned another 55 applications which Chinese companies were using to capture your day-to-day data, including your credit card behavior or the other personal details as well. So many companies are using, jobs are aplenty on this consumer behavior analytics or pattern analytics and applications. So these are the kind of applications which are already making inroads in our day-to-day life. So other big area of application on the AI and advanced techniques on the AI and machine learning is, as we saw in some of these movies and some other like the Transformers kind of movies, you talk of Autobots. Then there is some application specific robots, for example, like Robocop or industrial robots or home robots like Roomba, or maybe the giant robots like in Avatar movie, or assistive medical robotics. That's a big field. A doctor sitting in Hyderabad can perform an operation in London is very much possible using the assistive medical robotics. Or military application robots, for example, if you can make today, there still is a requirement, a landmine detection robot, because landmine, not much deaths happen world over. So some such military applications can be developed using the robotics. Swarm robotics is one of the very upcoming field, and I'm sure the beautiful display, if anybody missed, I remind you, on 26th January, rather 2 days after that, the beating retreat, 28th January, on the Delhi, the Janpath, it was live shown by 1,000 drones. That was a beautiful feat our country accomplished, done by IIT Delhi and a team of young entrepreneurs who have been working for 5-6 years on this. Young, fresh engineers pass out from IIT Delhi and some of the faculties there. 1,000 drones were synchronously flown in air, and they created number 75, beautiful display. They made the flag in the air. I think many of you might have seen. Otherwise, I will encourage you to see that clip. That is the application like swarm robotics. Then microbots, some of you might have seen a movie which they show the microbot like a 1/2 inch or 1 inch or small tiny robots, and millions of such robots when they combine, they can do wonderful things. So ultimate here is humanoid. And on humanoid, I just want to say that I do dream of making a humanoid in Gitam, and which our management is also will be willing to fund. So it may be taking us 3 years, 5 years, or make it in the evolutionary stages. Some of the faculty colleagues, we have already started working. So as a student, whomsoever you want to pitch in, feel free, you can work in these things, and some of that way we will make in the stages. But that whole journey will be very exciting to make humanoid more advanced than Sophia or Vyom Mitra over a period of time. So I'll show you what is the futuristic AI car here, and that example will be worth noticing that what AI can do for you. Is this video visible to you? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, because that's why I thought I'll just show it again. I'll just stop sharing and we'll show the video. See this video, and this is the example of driverless car, which is used for parking on its own. And see the power of AI in this, AI, ANN, machine learning, everything. So this lady has just got down and given the instructions to car to do the parking in the parking slot. Now it's a driverless car. It has found the parking slot and parking outside on its own. The car parked it itself and shut down. Now this lady comes out of the building.
Nice having you. Hopefully see you guys soon.
And now he calls the car as if like instructing the chauffeur that come out. Now see this. It has given the instruction to the car, which pulls out the dashboard. So car has come on its own, as if a chauffeur has brought it. So this AI-driven valet service, or you can call it AI chauffeur, this is not a science fiction. This is reality. This is happening around us. So this video clip actually has been live. It is, I think Google is trying its driverless car. And just to closer home, I will share that here in GST in Gitam School of Technology, Hyderabad, we want to develop one autonomous vehicle. And what we have decided is that we will take one golf cart and make that as a driverless. And my first challenge is that, can we make it run around this peripheral road inside the Geetham campus? So we will not first be trying directly with the golf cart. We will try with the miniature vehicle. And you will see in next 1 or 2 months itself, our management is going to fund it, and we will have ordering the components. And in the next 1-2 months, I hope you will be starting seeing the experiments being done here in the lab. And many of you, you are in 3rd year or even in next year, 4th year, whosoever be part of the journey, there are interdisciplinary research labs being created for some such driverless cars we will be doing. So just to equip you, some of these examples we have seen, how you can do it and how you can program in AI or ANN or machine learning. So Python, all of you are being using as a tool to do some AI techniques or some machine learning techniques. MATLAB is one which you can use quite powerfully. And now as a whole 3 campuses, we have got 10,000 licenses. All students can use MATLAB. Ask through your respective faculty and HOD. We have more than 10,000 licenses for all the 3 campuses. So basically aimed rather, I think 10,000 or 25,000, I guess. I think 25,000. So R is another programming language which is used for mainly the machine learning or the statistical work. But there are some commercial softwares dedicated, which you may learn. I will suggest you to learn skilling in your technical skilling course, or outside beyond your curriculum. Maybe you can do the certification in 3 months to 6 months. Market will have a huge demand. For example, Keras or TensorFlow. They are big time demand in market, or even PyTorch. But other this scikit-learning or Thenos or MaxNet or Caffe or CNET, all these are tools available for the AI programming or machine learning. I would encourage you to do, my friends, more and more hands-on. So if you have seen some of these videos and you're trying, so all these, until unless you do with your hand, create something physically, you don't really get that learning. And best for that is you make some hardware application or hardware plus software based applications. And on top of it, you do further programming using Python or MATLAB. Is going to be fantastic. And towards that, we are equipping you, even if you have missed the bus earlier, to have some starting with Arduino, Raspberry Pi microcontroller modules, and that along with the Python also we will be teaching the Arduino and Raspberry Pi, and later on with the Java programming with the mobile apps and web apps. So all this within a month or so, we will be conducting the hands-on workshops. These are beyond curriculum. You will get the proper notifications just to equip you. But my encouragement to you to do a lot of hands-on work, experimental work, learn this. And I am encouraging all my faculty colleagues to encourage in each semester some major project or some mini project. All of you will be next semester working on the mini project and major project part of a course. But within each course also, there could be some 20-25% mark onto the project work. So get into some of these hardware or hardware plus software applications, and you can make your life, because AI ML is going to be the huge requirement. So my last slide for the day, I'm giving you some assignment. It's a voluntary assignment. If you submit, you get a bonus mark. Submit to your respective faculty. That write 5 real life applications of AI. Use some diagrams, pictures you want to click or want to cut, copy, paste, fine, go ahead. 5 real life applications of AI. Second question is, write 5 examples of ANN. Whether it is applications or the current research or both, you can use any references, including the Google search or the web or anything. The next I will suggest, the third question is, write 5 real life applications of machine learning. Use any diagram, picture or figures here. And last question is, comment on the utility of AI, ANN, machine learning for engineering. We all are engineers. So for engineering particularly, this is today's CSE dominant. So how you think the future with AI, ANN, machine learning, your own future, your career, whether you want to go for job or research. note down these questions, and I will encourage you to submit the answer. You write on the A4 sheets or either form or Word doc you can create, submit to your respective faculties, and those who submit will get bonus marks that I will insist on my faculty colleagues who are taking these respective courses. So with these friends, I would stop here and let us see if there are any questions. Feel free to ask me some questions if you have. I have 5 minutes now. Yeah. I'm stopping the sharing of these slides. You can ask me the questions. Yes.
Well, sir,
Yes.
good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm a fourth-year student.
Yes.
Please switch on your video.
Sir, I'm currently not at home. I cannot switch on the video.
No problem. You shoot your question, please. Yeah.
Right, sir. So now that now that GitHub is implementing a lot of new labs into the institution, so how can the current fourth years who are going to pass out soon can take advantage of these labs?
A fantastic question, and that's where I just now said that to start with, I said even if you have missed the bus earlier, sky is not falling. We are going to conduct 5 hands-on workshops very soon, jointly organized by the CSE and EEC department. These workshops will be open to all years, first year to fourth year, all branches, whether it is ECE, CSE or anyone. The first workshop again is going to be the Arduino, in which we will be integrating the GPS, GSM, Bluetooth, wireless, or equipping you how to connect motors and all. Next workshop will be Arduino with Python. How do you do the Python programming using Arduino microcontroller? So you can apply it to the IoT or robotics or anything, you can do it. Next workshop will be on Raspberry Pi using the different sensors, and followed by Raspberry Pi with Python. And fifth workshop will be in Java, mobile apps and web apps. So if somebody attends these 5 workshops, I can guarantee you can make beautiful BTech project. So as fourth year student, I will draw your attention to do some good project work, hands-on, preferably hardware or hardware plus software based.
Right, sir.
So will these?
Somebody is asking me the question in chat bot that I want to write a research paper for improving my profile. I will strongly recommend that do some experimental work, do some project, make your BTech project itself, or even if you are third year, you can do some side project beyond your curriculum. But project, preferably do some experimental work, and based upon that, you can write a research paper. You can ask any faculty guide, your guide, or if there is anywhere, you can always come with your guide or directly to me, no problems.
Sir, will the previous mentioned workshops be paid or will be like free from the institution?
These hands-on workshops will be highly subsidized. There is no intention to make the profit. Very nominal cost. So all these workshops, these hands-on workshops we already have conducted, are going to cost maybe starting with 200 rupees, max will be 1,000. Less than your pizza cost. So it's not going to be costly, and this could be few days. So, and in a hardware kind of thing, we will be encouraging you to buy your own Arduino board or Raspberry Pi. But even if you don't have, in the School of Technology, Hyderabad, we have got enough of these kits where you can experiment with.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question, please? Feel free, and I will encourage you to do a lot of hands-on work, hardware based or hardware plus software based. And if you are in fourth year, use your BTech project to make your life. Even if you are in third year, plan to do something significant, and next 1.5 year you have with Geetam, you can make your life. And in all of this, we are going to go more heavy on the interdisciplinary research. And I will encourage you to think beyond the walls of your department and go interdisciplinary. We are setting up a lot of laboratories and hands-on facilities here. Almost more than 70 lakhs worth equipment. These microcontroller or many things we have already purchased, and another about 1.6 crores are in the pipeline. Very soon, in a month or so, we'll be having. So that investment, finally management approved. More than 2 crores have been spent only on equipping these laboratories. Please make the best advantage of this. Thank you, friends. We'll stop here. And if there are any further questions, please shoot me the emails. Competitions, I am not, we are talking onto the academic part or research, but competitions, yes. And there are some other skilling and training programs, so you can take benefit of those. Or you can talk to the GCGC, they will help you. Okay. Thank you, friends. We'll stop here. And you can always have the questions through your faculty or directly email to me and we'll answer. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks all my faculty colleagues for this good session. I'm rushing now to have another meeting in Shivaji Auditorium. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Thank you.